Teacher Talking Sports, what it does, what it do, how we live. And today is the last day of the MLB regular season. The 12 playoff teams have been finalized. There are 18 teams that will be sitting out the postseason. So in today's video, I'm going to take a look at the best player that will be a free agent amongst the 18 teams that have not made the playoffs. Some have options, so I'm including those that are likely not to accept their option, whether it's the team that doesn't or the player. And those that are obviously going to be picked up, I did not include. I'll briefly go over them. But let's get started. Not all free agents are equal, of course. Some teams are clearly rebuilding, don't really have a notable free agent, but I had to pick someone. While there are some very good players on here, let's start alphabetical order by team. Arizona Diamondbacks, we got starting pitcher Zach Davies. Amazingly, Davies only won 2 games in 27 starts, but still had a 4.09 ERA and a 1.3 whip, basically league average in both of those categories. Baltimore Orioles, Rougned Odor never hits for a high average, hit just 208 this past season. Has always showed pop, but only had 13 homers this season. Not many guys to choose from. The Boston Red Sox, we got Xander Bogaerts. Bogaerts can opt out of his 3 years and $60 million he has remaining, likely to do so. Bogaerts batted over 300 for the third time in 4 years, batting .305, 130 OPS plus, 38 doubles, 15 homers this past season. Chicago Cubs, Wilson Contreras, the catcher, was widely expected to be traded at the trade deadline. Ended up staying with the team, made his third All-Star team this past season, had his 4th season of at least 20 homers. Chicago White Sox, Jose Abreu. Tim Anderson is a $12.5 million club option, which you have to widely assume that the White Sox will pick up. But Abreu, the 2020 AL MVP, hit .304 this past season. Didn't quite show as much pop. Least amount of homers he's had in any season, only 15. Still at a 133 OPS plus and 40 doubles on the season. Cincinnati Reds, not many options. We'll go Donovan Solano, who was actually a Silver Slugger in 2020. Solano played in 79 games this year with the Reds, batting .284, close to a league average OPS. Detroit Tigers, not many options. We'll go with relief pitcher Andrew Chafin. Chafin had a solid 2.83 ERA this past season, 64 games, 57 and a third innings, striking out 10.5 batters per 9. Splitting time with the Cubs and Athletics last season, he had a microscopic 1.83 ERA. Kansas City Royals will go with Zach Greinke, turning 39 on October 21st. Greinke had a 3.68 ERA this past season in 26 starts. So still a pretty good pitcher. Let's see if he pitches next season or opts to retire. Los Angeles Angels will go with Michael Lorenzen, the starting pitcher. 18 starts at a 4.24 ERA after mostly being utilized in the bullpen with the Reds. Had a solid 1.28 whip on the year. Miami Marlins, let's go with Joey Wendell. He has a $6.3 million club option. You would think a cost-conscious team like the Marlins might decline that. He was an all-star in 2021 with the Rays. This past season, played in 101 games, spent a lot of time on the IL with the Marlins. 259 average, 3 homers. Did have 2.4 WAR according to Baseball Reference, a solid defensive player. Milwaukee Brewers, Colton Wong. Wong has a $10 million club option. Again, another cost-conscious team. The Milwaukee Brewers, unclear what they will do with that. Wong is a 2-time Gold Glover, still an excellent defensive second baseman. Had a career-high 15 homers this past season. The Minnesota Twins, Carlos Correa, can opt out next season. Is getting paid $35.1 million each of the next 2 seasons. Can opt out in either of them. Many expect him to opt out after this season. Worth 5.4 WAR according to Baseball Reference this past season, hitting 291 on the year, 22 homers, a 139 OPS plus, well above average defensive shortstop. Oakland Athletics, really no choices. We'll go with Chad Pinder. Again, not much to choose from. Pinder batted 234 with 12 homers, just 14 walks to 117 strikeouts. Uh, Oakland won't miss him if he moves on. If he remains in the majors, Pittsburgh Pirates, Roberto Perez. The catcher has played in just 21 games this season after signing a 1-year, $5 million deal to join the Pirates. A two-time Gold Glove winner back-to-back years in 2019 and 20. Never has been a great offensive player, but again, one of the best defensive catchers in the game. San Francisco Giants Carlos Rodon has a $22.5 million player option, which in all likelihood he will decline. His first year with the Giants was superb, 14-8, 2.88 ERA in 31 starts, striking out 12 batters per 9, barely over a 1 WHIP, led the NL with a 2.25 FIP. Texas Rangers Martin Perez. What a season it was for Perez. Career year at the age of 31. 12-8, 2.89 ERA in 32 starts. This is a guy who has had at least a 4.38 ERA every season from 2014 to 21. And last, another team without much talent, at least talent that eligible to be free agents. Erasmo Ramirez, I'll go with the relief pitcher. Ramirez appeared in 59 games, 84 and a third innings, had a 1.09 WHIP and a 2.99 ERA for the Nationals. So there you have it. In my eyes, the best free agent on each of the 18 teams that have been eliminated from the postseason. What do you guys think? Again, not every team had someone super notable, but still, I mentioned guys like Xander Bogaerts, Wilson Contreras, Jose Abreu, Colton Wong, Carlos Correa, Carlos Rodon, and Martin Perez. So definitely some free agents who are going to get paid. Do you expect any to stay? Do you expect any to move on? What do you think about Bogarts and Carlos Correa? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out. And sorry, Colorado Rockies and Carlos Estevez, forgot to name you. Here we are at the end. Estevez had a 3.47 ERA out of the bullpen for the Rockies in 62 outings, 57 innings pitched, 1.17 WHIP, and despite pitching at Coors, his ERA was pretty much the same both at home and on the road.